Whores and sodomites. Devarim, or Deuteronomy 22:17. We are not to raise our daughters as whores, or our mannerisms as such, nor are we to raise our sons as effeminate. None of the daughters of Yashra'al is to be a whore, nor any of the sons of Yashra'al be a sodomite, which is a homosexual. Divorce. Devarim, or Deuteronomy 24:1-4. Understand that Yahuwah hates divorce. It should not be a mindless resolve if things don't work out. For this purpose, we should find a spouse who is well balanced and communicate to sustain a marriage, not jumping from one to another as in dating. The exception or cause, obviously, is pertaining to if your spouse sleeps with someone else while married to you, which is adultery. If he shall marry her, then it shall be, if she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found a matter of uncoveredness in her, and he shall write her a certificate of divorce, and put it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And if she left his house, and went and became another man's wife, and the later husband shall hate her, and write her a certificate of divorce, and put it in her hand, and send her out of his house, or when the later husband dies, who took her to be his wife, then the former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her back to be his wife after she has been defiled, for that would be an abomination before Yahuwah. Hebrew customs. Devarim, or Deuteronomy 25:5-10. In the days of old it was customary, if your brother was married and dies childless, his brother is to marry his brother's wife in order to raise up a child to his name. When brothers dwell together, and one of them has died and has no son, the widow of the dead man shall not become a stranger outside. Her husband's brother does go into her, and shall take her as his wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. And it shall be that the firstborn son which she bears does rise up for the name of his dead brother, so that his name is not blotted out of Yashra'al. But if the man does not desire to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate to the elders and say, my husband's brother refuses to rise up a name to his brother in Yashra'al. He does not agree to perform the duty of my husband's brother. The elders of the city shall then call him and speak to him, and he shall stand and say, I have no desire to take her. Then his brother's wife shall come to him in the presence of the elders, and remove his sandal from his foot, and shall spit in his face, and answer and say, thus it is done to the man who does not build up his brother's house. And in Yashra'al his name shall be called, the house of him who had his sandal removed. Homosexuality. Wayikra, or Leviticus 20:13. Bisexuality and homosexuality is an abomination and should not be practiced. If you've done so, repent and refrain from this. The Torah clearly states that those of the same sex are not to lay sexually with each other, nor should this be performed for one spouse, bringing another person into your intimacy. And a man who lies with the male as he lies with the woman, both of them have done an abomination. They shall certainly be put to death. Their blood is upon them. Dietary law. Devarim, or Deuteronomy 14:4-21. As part of dietary law, we are to eat clean animals. We should also take into consideration the diet of these animals to ensure if the animal is clean or unclean, such as chicken, turkey, and other animals. In following dietary law, it helps to keep us healthy. We are also not to eat the blood or the fat of meat. Do not eat whatever is abominable. These are the living creatures which you do eat: ox, sheep, and goat, deer, and gazelle, and roebuck, and wild goat, and mountain goat, and antelope, and mountain sheep, and every beast that has a split hoof divided into two, chewing the cud. Among the beasts you do eat. But of those chewing the cud, or those having a split hoof completely divided, you do not eat, such as these: the camel, and the hare, and the rabbit, for they chew the cud, but do not have a split hoof. They are unclean for you. And the pig is unclean for you, because it has a split hoof, but does not chew the cud. Do not eat their flesh or touch their dead carcasses. These you do eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales you do eat. Whatever does not have fins and scales you do not eat. It is unclean for you. Any clean bird you do eat. But these you do not eat: the eagle, and the vulture, and the black vulture, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the buzzard after their kinds, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after their kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. And every creeping insect that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Any clean bird you do eat. Do not eat whatever dies of itself. Give it to the stranger who is within your gates to eat it, or sell it to a foreigner. For you are a set-apart people to Yahuwah your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk.